It's easier to shine for Jesus in the church setting. It's easier to reflect his presence or his peace when everyone agrees with you. But what about in your workplace? What about in your home when others aren't walking with Christ? What about when you're surrounded by negativity, doubt, comparison, competition, envy, or even persecution? The world will always try to put out the light of Christ in us. Here's the challenge. Will you let rejection stop you from radiating God's presence? Or will you shine even brighter knowing that you are reflecting something eternal? When he came down from Mount Sinai with the two tablets of the testimony in his hands, as he came down from the mountain, Moses did not know that the skin of his face shone because he had been talking with God. He didn't know. Moses had been in God's presence, and that intimate encounter left a permanent mark on him. Glory, hallelujah. There's evidence. There's evidence when we encounter God. Moses didn't just receive instruction, he was transformed. He didn't just hear from God, he radiated God's presence. Moses didn't just know the word, he became a vessel of God's glory. So this wasn't just a symbolic change. Moses's physical appearance changed to the point that others could see the evidence of his encounter with God. In Exodus chapter 34, verse 35, the people of Israel would see the face of Moses, that the skin of Moses's face was shining, and Moses would put the veil over his face again until he went in to speak with God, with the Lord. Hallelujah. This is a supernatural result of being immersed in God's glory. So how did everyone respond to Moses' radiance? Well, when the Israelites saw Moses' face shining with God's glory, they actually only had two choices. And the first was that they allowed the fear to overtake them. And back in verse 30, it says that they were afraid to come near him because the holiness of God exposes their sin. The holiness of God exposes sin. And so instead of drawing closer to what was divine, they would back away. That's what we do as well. And then the other choice they had was to actually see it as an invitation to deeper reverence, because they knew Moses had been with God. And so they wanted and they trusted what he had to say. They recognized that he was transformed. This transformation validated his message. In the same context, all of what is happening to Moses, the same exists today. When we encounter someone who is filled with the Spirit and walking in God's presence, we either feel convicted and back away out of discomfort, or we feel drawn in and we want to experience the same transformation. Brothers and sisters, your radiance will either repel or inspire people, but it depends on their heart posture.